Alrighty, let's see if we can get everything rolling here, guys. Once we get everything started and up and rolling, we'll go ahead and get into the video, or into the live stream. Just give it a few seconds here. I'm letting Steam wrap up a thing with GTA real fast, since it's only verifying it. Gives you guys a chance to go ahead and get in here, see what you guys want to see. But here momentarily, we'll go ahead and get RailRoads Online going, and I will be putting, if you guys want to join me today, you guys can. I will be putting, I guess I won't be able to put anything in the description yet, but I'll let you guys know the server name and everything like that once we get in there. Like I said, we're just letting Steam real fast verify this other game, get this game done and out of the way, and we'll get into the live stream. Actually, we'll probably just do it now because it's verifying. Alrighty. Give me one moment here. Alrighty. See if it'll switch over, if it picks it up or not. Yep, okay. Alright, so, guys, take a good look real quick. That is going to be the server stuff that anytime I go to record anything when I play in this world, that is what this stuff is set to. If you guys type that in and you find it, go ahead, you guys can join. I don't care. I started this YouTube channel to create a community of people who have similar interests, and well, you guys, if you like trains, you have this game, come on in, get some RailRoads Online going. But that is the server stuff. It always is set to that. Go ahead and get the server started here. But it should always be set to Shadow Knights, with the password being Wolf, a capital W on that Wolf, just like it was in that little shot there. Like I said, anytime you guys want to, go ahead and join if it's open, and we can go do some stuff. We can run some trains, build some track, because I want to be able to see what your guys' idea is on the track, see what you guys think, see what you guys come up with as well, and then that way more people may need help with that section of track. Like, I need an idea of how to do this. Well, if you guys put your idea, put it on this track, like, hey, this is what I did, or this is what I think we could do here, we put it on, other people can see that and be like, oh, hey, I could do that too. So it's really to kind of help everybody. But we'll go ahead and get into here. We've got a long loading screen. You guys get to see the loading screen I got to get through every time I go to record. And then you guys will get to see in real time how long it takes to get from one side of the map to the other side of the map. Because a lot of times I'm hyperlapsing, or I cut it out or cut sections out, so you guys don't have to sit there and watch all of it. So as much as we all like to watch trains move, I don't think we want to sit there that long all the time. And we're going to go ahead and I should have the chat working on my computer here so where I can see it, but if I can't, just give me a second. Alright. So, where we left off over here is I took the tier 2s with beams, another load, 2 more loads actually, up to the coal mine. So we have some beams stored up in there. We're going to need to take rails here soon. But we've got about 4 cars, almost 5 cars worth of coal ready. We're definitely going to bring some more logs up here and work on the logs. Or logs, there it is. The rails. But that'll be in one of the episodes. This stream here is just kind of sit back, relax, get to chat with you guys. If you guys want to chat, get you guys to see some stuff in real time, without cutting it all out, all the craziness that happens, all the gibberish that I start saying. Yeah, it gets crazy. What if we come over here? We can look at that nice, beautiful view. This is why I like the coal mine. I can come up here and just get this nice scenic shot. It's really cool. We got the nice waterfall over there with our makeshift bridge type of status going on over there. It's pretty cool. But let's go ahead. We gotta at least get down to the smelter or to the crossover because we got to get these cars back. I don't know what we're going to be doing today. I would like to clean up some track. I'd like to do some other stuff, but it's just kind of putz around, have some fun, run some trains, and see what we can get into. And I do want to take a moment and I want to refresh my memory on the return lines from the coal mine over here, so give me a second. Oh, here's the caboose. I do want to show you guys the inside of the caboose. I had recently was paying attention. I forgot that I didn't show you guys the inside of the caboose very well. I think I'll show it to you guys in the next episode. But we are currently set up for our freight right now with the caboose. We've got our white lights in the back, side marker lights marking that this is a freight train. This is the back of the train, which is why I've got the red light up there, even though it, or a red lantern, even though it should be technically a white too, a white lantern as well. Since it's freight, red was only used for the back of the passenger trains, and green was used for the front of the passenger trains. But I think since we have the white side marker lights, we can get away with running, um, do some parkour here. We could get away with running that as a red lantern marking the back end of the train. I think we'll be just fine. Get rid of all that craziness right there. Oh, that got rid of a lot of that groundwork. But that's okay. Alright, back to what we were originally wanting to do. Hello, X-Miner. What's up? How was your guys' Christmas? Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Hopefully you got the day off. Got to relax. I know Christmas was definitely yesterday, but I was driving around town and noticed there was quite a few places here in town that still had today off as well, which is awesome. Everybody deserves the day off. So we got our three main lines squeezing down through here. Like I said, if you guys want to get in here and join in, see the track for yourself, go ahead. I'll give you guys the information. It's just Shadow Nights with the password being Wolf for you guys. It's at the beginning of the live stream if you do want to see that, if you can go back. I can't remember if you guys can go back and look at that or not. Okay, so we've got our three main lines coming out this way. If I remember right, we said one of these was supposed to go to the refinery, iron mine, and one was supposed to be a return line to the main line, like, to complete the loop. So, all aspect of the reality of it, I don't think we really need this many. I think two would have been just fine. Because I actually got the other line here recently working really well. The other return line, because if you remember, we have 4 lines coming off of this. I got it smooth enough to where we could take actual trains, but the first one we did was sharp and only locomotives could go through it because they were heavy. Now the light cars won't go through it, and I actually still got the groundwork. Cause see it right over there somewhere is where it kind of came through, or actually no, it turned right through here. Yeah, it came right through here and went this way, and I moved it to over there, so it's a little bit less of a steep corner. It's a little bit wider, and the cars can handle it a lot better, and they don't pop off the track and everything. So that is awesome. Alrighty, so, well, we are all set up to head out. Let's get Davis going, and we'll get going and see what we can get into. If we start cleaning track, we start cleaning track. You guys will notice how badly I squirrel, and this is why sometimes I miss episodes or whatever, because I squirrel so bad. I will get going on one project and get completely sidetracked in another. It's ridiculous. Really ridiculous. Okay, let's fix our crosshairs real quick. Alrighty. Get some fuel going in him. We should still be hopefully coupled up if everything worked right. Switches should, in theory, be set. Might want to check that while we're warming up. We've got some pressure, so we can actually get moving. I don't think we have any brakes on the caboose. Okay. Yep, he is moving. Awesome. Alrighty. Bam, that first set, or there it is, the first set. The first switch is set. And every time, I need to move that fire depot. I really do. And the second one is not. Which makes sense, because we rolled into the coal mine. Oh, we need to get our generator going or else we're not going to have any brakes. Because if you guys don't know, the generator is for the brake pressure only. So the brakes don't run off the pressure that's built up from the steam. It runs off of its compressor, which is powered by the generator. So if you don't have that generator going, then you're not going to have brake pressure in, even though you've got steam. So it's important to make sure with Davis and Jack, both of these valves are turned, and then like Henry and Link both have a valve just for the brake side. So somehow their generator's automatically turned on when they're going. Okay, so we're set to about a 15% rig. We're going to need to start increasing that to, we'll go about a 45. And if I start talking really loud, guys, I'm sorry. If I get distracted, I'm sorry. The game sound for me is turned up all the way, so that way when I record, I can have it set to picking up our set amount. It maxes the game's volume out for you guys when I record or anything like that, but for me it's turned all the way up. So like right now, I can't hear myself talk. I think I know what I'm saying, but I don't quite know. So that's why even in like my videos, you'll kind of listen to my audio increase all of a sudden. That's because I can't hear myself talk because of the locomotives. So I can't tell if you guys can actually hear me or not, even though I know you guys can. It's just something subconscious that I do. So that's why I get a little bit louder sometimes. Or like when I get away from the locomotives, how I get quiet. Or I start getting quieter. That's why, because the sound in the game is turned up all the way. But let's get it going, shall we? And the nice thing is they've increased the speed for both Jack and Davis. So Davis, the Heislers here go now, I think it's like 10 meters per second. I think is what it said. And then the Climaxes go 5. So they've set it to those speeds, which you can tell they do go a little bit faster, which is nice. They're still not as fast as Link and Henry, which they will never be because they're gear-driven locomotives rather than rod. Even though Davis does have a few rods, but... So look at that view, and then we'll get a second to look at the actual waterfall. Look at that, and I actually put it close enough to where I made it to where the mist of the waterfall basically hits the track, which I did this line before we got the snow, and I wasn't anticipating us getting snow, but if the snow stays permanently, we're gonna have to move that line because there would be ice buildup on that line, and we wouldn't, in real life, they wouldn't have that. We would have to run it a different way. So if the snow stays, we'll have to move it. If it doesn't, we'll keep it. All right. So we still haven't even left the little valley here of the coal mine. As you can see, the coal mine's still over there. We don't actually leave it until we get around that bend all the way over there. So it is a pretty long journey to get home anyways. And since it's a blind corner that's coming up, we'll go ahead and whistle a few times. Even though there's no one else on the track or in the world at the moment, I still like when we come around blind corners whistle, because this is still a single main line, so you could be going either direction on this main line. And that way it at least lets someone know that if they're coming around the other side of that corner that, hey, we've got a train coming, whistle, so that way we can get our train stopped and figure out how we're going to get this done. Whether it be me having to back all the way back up to the coal mine so he can get through, or she, or where they have to back up, and then so that way I can get going through. Which more than likely, if it's up in this corner up here where I'm talking about, it would probably be me backing up so that way they can get through. But in reality, there should only be really one train on this, unless they're bringing up rails as I'm bringing up, or someone else is bringing up beams. But I really like the look of the snow. Like, look at that. It looks so good on the trees. They did it so well, and it looks good. They changed the textures with the snow really well, I think. And it partially makes me really want to keep it year-round. I'd also like to eventually see Squirrel to run a line along that river down there, like right next to it at the same height pretty much as it. I think that would be pretty cool. but that'll be something that we'll do later on. As I said, even though, yes, the network has rails connecting it all and it's technically a completed stage, almost, it's never going to be done. And we're, like I said, we're still going to tweak the track to where we hug the mountains better so we're not high off the ground, because as much as it bothers you guys, it bothers me just as much, so don't worry. And the more that we go through this route, the more I can plan the way that I want to actually take the track, and we'll start to actually mess around with it. But first, we'll probably actually go work on the sawmill. We're going to probably head back to the sawmill anyways to pick up some more beams to take to the iron mine. So we're probably going to work on the sawmill line, the sawmill yard, in today's live stream, as well as probably take a few lines. I don't know how long you guys want to sit here and watch the live stream, because it is the day after Christmas, but I'll probably be streaming for quite a few hours, and then I'll go edit the Monday's episode and get it ready for you guys. But probably be streaming for a while, so it'll give you guys plenty of time to get on if you guys want to. If you guys want to sit back and relax, you know, put this on as background, you guys can do that too. So whatever works, just make sure you have your coffee handy or your tea, whatever you like to drink, and make sure you're having a good day. Okay. How are we doing on water? We're doing pretty good on water. We're starting to go to downhill, so we're going to definitely want to start putting some brakes on with Davis, because his center of gravity is a lot higher than Link's and Henry's. And when he comes around these corners, they're fine at going full speed or whatever down this. But I've actually got him to where he's leaned against on one side, like I can't remember what they call it when you do it in a car. I cannot remember what they call it. I was watching Knight Rider the other day, and he was doing some stunts in the car, and I can't remember what they called it. But I've gotten Davis to literally be on just like the right side of his wheels before coming down this, because I forgot all about his center of gravity. So he won't exactly be able to go through this as fast as they can, but that is it's him. Davis is meant for slow, going up steep grades and the rickety old track, whereas Link and Henry are meant for like the main lines, hauling the bigger loads with lower grades and being able to take their corners and stuff. So, but we shall get into this. I've definitely checked the firebox, and I definitely forgot to pay attention to if it needed something or not. Okay. I do like the fact that we can see the percentage of the fuel in the firebox now and the temperature of the fire itself. Yes, it's in Celsius, but I've learned that I'm starting to learn my Celsius, which is awesome. Because I'm so used to doing everything to the standard of like Fahrenheit, inches, feet, because that's what we do, you know. But I forget that everybody else doesn't do that. Everybody else has centimeters, meters, all of that good stuff. So I've got to start really learning that. And it's the same thing with military time. I used to not be able to tell it until I started playing Farming Simulator, and then I started learning what military time is. And then I had a job where all they did was told in military time. So like you were scheduled at 1600 hours. It didn't say 4 o'clock. It said 1600 hours. So I really had to learn it, but it's not that hard. In my brain, I just do it a different way and see how we go. But so how you guys doing today? You guys doing all right? You guys relaxing, enjoying yourselves? Okay, we actually are coming down. See, this is the part that always gets me too about this track. Right here is a 3% grade downhill. But you can't tell because the terrain is going at the same grade that the track is, so it's keeping the same height on all these posts. And it throws me for a loop because I'm sitting here thinking, oh, we're at a flat grade. In reality, no, we're still going at a 3% grade. It's just the way the terrain is, and that's why the terrain here is so hard to judge. Oh, we fell off. That's another thing. You guys will get to see how many times I actually do fall off the locomotives. I fall off the locomotives a lot. That's why with Link, that one episode, I didn't want to go in the middle of across over the to the other side of the cabin because I fell through that middle of that cabin so many times in that episode trying to record it that I just gave up and was like, nope, I'm not going to the other side. With Davis and the rest of them, we really don't have to worry about it. But Link is just that one that has that issue. I haven't tried the Eureka yet or the Tier 2 Porter, which we will be here soon. Especially since we're getting closer to the price tags. But look at all that snow. I just love the snow. I really do. I don't know what it is about it, but it just gives a nice, beautiful view to the mountains. And it helps with like the groundwork blend in like the actual groundwork better so it doesn't just look all out of place, a tan strip going through a green area, you know. So now we should be flattening out because this over here should all be about a flat grade into the switch, and then the switch will maintain a flat grade for like literally probably like 2 seconds. Once we cross over the river, we'll probably be going back up a 3% grade or 1% grade at that point. But we've still got a caboose, so that means we haven't lost any cars, which is awesome. And we'll go ahead and put this up about a 35% reg. Make it to where I can't hear myself think or talk anymore again. But it'll be okay. We'll get there eventually, guys. And like I said, it is a long journey. But that's what this game's about, is enjoying the journey rather than, you know, hurry up and get there. Because if they wanted to make it about hurry up and get there, they would have made it closer to modern day times with diesels and not steam locomotives. This is literally about enjoying. Oh, we lost a train. See, look, we can look back and see that we've lost a train because our caboose is. That is interesting. But it's rolling uphill. That's what I'm talking about, guys. That's what the caboose right there is for. Is, well, one of the reasons other than a brakeman. But if you lose a part of your train, you don't see your caboose no more. If you don't see your caboose, you know you lost a part of your train. Okay, well, we'll sit in the brakeman spot and we'll get ready to stop it. We'll let it go up as far as it'll go on its own momentum. The stuff I run into, the problems I have. It's ridiculous. And see, it was all behaving perfectly fine until that moment right there, and then I think I just yanked the pressure too high all of a sudden. It just snapped the coupler. That's probably what happened. But I'm just glad we caught it as quickly as we did. I looked back and I seen the caboose not there and it being somewhere else, and I was like, oh gosh, here we go. We're gonna have to go hunt down a derailed locomotives or cars with a caboose. Come on. Is that gonna be enough to start you moving backwards? No. Come on, Davis, you're a pretty heavy dude. Like, put that weight to use for once, please. At least that was a pretty simple and nothing actually derailed. Yet. Usually when there's a problem like this, it happens in threes. I'll go to pull away from these cars and we'll find out that another set has decided to uncouple somewhere. So, that's just how the tier 2s work. The tier 2s are nasty to work with sometimes. I know you don't gotta go up to this brakeman to release this brake, but I like to. Hopefully we've got brakes set up there good enough for that. See, there's the nice old fireplace you can open up. You can put your little wood in there to keep you warm. If you're on the road, you've got like a nice little bunk bed, 2 of them, 3 of them, which, by the way, would be about accurate for how many crew, because you've got your engineer, you've got your, I want to say conductor, but I don't think that's right. The person who handled the firebox, because you had a dude that basically just put fire in the firebox, maintained the fire and the pressure in the fire, and then you had a dude running the train, which was your engineer, and then you had your brakeman, which would be your third person, which is why there's 3 beds, and he would be back here in the caboose. When we start going downhill and stuff like that, he would activate this brake to start slowing the train down from the rear. Those doors do open, by the way. I just don't like fighting with them. But so you would have a three-man crew when you would run these trains like that. If you were running only 1 locomotive, that is. If you're running more than that, then you would have to add 2 people to every locomotive, because you would have to have a person handling the firebox. Because see, like, that's why there's a bench here. Hold on. Okay. That's why there's a bench there, because you would have a dude that sat here and just drove the train, so he would mess with all of this a little bit. And then you had a dude that would sit basically right here and just mess with the firebox, worry about the pressure, worry about all some of these other valves like the generator, and he would mess with a lot of this other stuff, which is why it's over here rather than over here, because the person who's driving the train would mess with this valve. And then you've got the brakeman, which would be sitting back in the caboose, and right now he wouldn't be of use, but when we start coming down, he would start applying that brake slowly from the rear of the train, so instead of us braking with the locomotive, they would apply it with the rear of the train, which is safer for the train. But we don't have 2 people in the world. We've only got 1, so this is the best we've got. Once we get more people, if we do, we could run brakemen if we wanted to, or whatever, but and multiple locomotives, all kinds of crazy stuff. I do need to go through and check all of the locomotives' sand, because I've been using their sand quite a bit, and I haven't filled them up, any of them up once. So I'm 90% or like 99.999% sure that most of them, if not all of them, are empty in their sand, because I never fill them up. So we're gonna have to go through, check all that good stuff. Davis's should be alright, since I haven't used them in a long bit. I need to get poor Jack in a shed somewhere, so we're definitely gonna when we come back with the load of wood beams to go to the iron mine, we'll have to bring tag Jack along with us and put a shed somewhere. Firemen, there you go. Yeah, thank you. The firemen. So you would have your engineer running the train or driving the train, and then you would have your firemen worrying about the fire, the pressure, all the good stuff. And there was a lot more to it than just manning the fire, making sure it has wood in the fire. There was a lot more, because as you see all these valves here, he's got to worry about the amount of water that's moving over the boiler. He's got to worry about the pressure of the water going through it and making sure it's getting water. He's worrying about a lot there. There's a lot more to it than just putting fuel in the fire and keeping it boiling. So, and you don't want to be burning it too hot when you're not using the steam, because then it's just a waste. So there was a lot more to the fireman than just that, and that's why there was a fireman and an engineer in the cab of the train, and then you had your brakeman in the rear of the train. So there is that. See, there in some of this area, like over here, there is actual groundwork underneath the bridge, so it's not completely just floating in the midair like that. Now, like that section right there that we just went over, that whole section right there needs to be fixed. Like, it's some parts of it's floating, but pretty much we'll start from like right here where this mountain is, where we curve into along this mountain right here where that groundwork is, and we'll just keep curving it and follow that ridge line all the way down, and we'll run it at probably about a 3 to 2% grade, so we get down on that plateau a lot sooner. And then we can run a flat, close to the ground track all the way to that switch to the coal mine. And we can actually probably just move that switch over here, and then we'll run the other side of that switch. We'll come straight down through here, and we'll fix all that up when we get there. We'll take that track out, because that's a track that's not necessary anymore. So we'll start cleaning this area up now. Get it all worked up and cleaned up. Start our whistle. And we'll start to slow it down slowly, so we don't lose the back end of our train again. But we're also coming up on the. I think we're right now we're going through. I think we're either still on the 1% or we're hitting the flat. I'm pretty sure right here is the 1%, and I think it's that bend right there, somewhere right before that bend. We start the 1% downhill, which we're actually going up, which would stop the 1% uphill for us right now, about right there somewhere. We hit the flat grade, and that's a flat grade until we get that around that turn that's around the mountain. And once we hit that mountain to curve, we'll be. No, it's not right after that. It's there's that little divot in the track is where the grade starts. That divot that always scares me. Okay, we'll just make sure our fire's maintaining a pretty good fuel amount, which is 50% is pretty alright. And as we're going downhill, we just want to keep a couple firewood in it so we can keep that generator turning, keeping air going to our brakes because we're going downhill. Because we do not want to lose brake pressure going downhill in Davis. This dude does not stop without brakes unless starts going uphill, and then he just starts rolling back downhill. Because I remember the very first time I just drove Davis here, it was out of that yard that you start with when you buy the locomotives and cars and stuff, and we were coming, or I was moving him, and I didn't know about the generator or the or the brake valve there yet, and I started moving him without brakes, and he just kept on going, and I only had him moving probably. He was slower than you could walk, way slower than you could walk. So he wasn't moving very fast, but he just kept on moving and kept on going and kept on going. Then we hit like a slight bump, which then he stopped for a second, which I thought he was actually stopping, and then he decided to start rolling back the other way. So, and then I derailed a set of cars. Yeah, so it's somewhere around that bend over there is where we stopped the 1% grade. We actually managed to straighten out our train. Oh, I'm about to fall off the track, and that would be not a good one to follow. I think I actually have, yeah, I might have even had it on an episode or two, but I've actually fell off the track here before. It was not good, because you can't get back up. Yeah, you can't get back. Once you fall down there, you can't get back up until you're all the way towards the out of the ravine somewhere, and you try to meet the track. And you run it during a 1% grade through here, so you start picking up speed. If you fall off before you cut your power and start applying your brakes, your train's gonna end up derailing somewhere down the line. And see right there, that bridge was originally just like the loading screens to Railroads Online. Is you've got the pillars of groundwork there, which I got to go and fix, but you've got the pillars holding up the actual bridge, and that's what we kind of wanted to look is like the title screen of Railroads Online. That's what that's kind of referring to. And you can hardly actually ever see those pillars. I wonder what's back that way. I kind of want to go back that way for some reason. I mean, there's no buildings, obviously, but I just wonder what's all that way. So somewhere through here, oh my gosh, English. Somewhere through here is where you want to start kind of cutting your power, because that corner can be a little sharp, and then right there, you'll see the train do a divot, and you can see it in the track pretty well. That is where we start our downhill descent. Pretty sure this part right here is a 1%, and then we start at 3% a little bit closer to the corkscrew. See, I fall out of the locomotives a lot. Okay. But we'll we'll just let him coast down. I'm not in a big rush today. Just enjoy the ride, look at the view, like a look at that. See right over there, that little building? I'm trying to point to you on the screen, lol. Is the sawmill. And then that big opening over there, all of that big opening is the crossover. Then that right up there on that hill, if Davis would stop moving, is where I was trying to get like an aerial shot of the crossover. It didn't work too well. because you can't, obviously you can't have floating bridges for the most part, so you can only go out so far. Then over there, that tiny little speck out there is one of the sheds to the logging camp, I do believe. And you'll get to see you'll get to see a little sneak peek of the new episode, what's going to be in the new episode on Monday's episode through here. Oh, we need to start applying brakes, my dudes. We're going 3% grade now. Oh yeah, you see that? Davis is trying to tip. What percentage are we running? We're running 19%. That should be good to start slowing. We did lose the back end of our train. Well, at least we're going downhill. Alright. We'll have to fix that soon. See, there's the little sneak peek of what's going to be coming in the episode. Alright, well, since we're going down a constant grade, let's see if we can't fix this while on the move here. Who is it? Where is it disconnected at? I think it's this one right here. Yep. Okay, so how we're going to do this. I'm going to apply that. Nope, still not enough. Okay. Give us that gap for that. And release that. Which then we'll start picking up speed. And that is how you couple a split train on the move, guys. That is how you do it. I've had a lot of practice doing it. Alright, that was interesting. Well, we know with that train, with this set of cars here, we're going to definitely have to watch that section. That was interesting. Twice in one episode. Or not even an episode, just twice. Oh, Davis is still moving a little bit quicker than we can run. Okay, we're going perfect. I think we should be set to go through the crossover and straight to the sawmill. Because I haven't switched any switches. Which is the nice thing, is I can set this track to do that. But once we start running other locomotives in here at the same time, that's when we would have to watch the switches and stuff, and that's when the main line rule would apply, where every switch that sits on the main line itself has to be set back to the main line when you get through it, even if it's considered a diamond like this, because this is a main line that we're currently on, but that's the main line right there. So if we were running other locomotives or anything like that, we would have to have it to where we'd have to run the main line rule. And now we switch to the secondary, which the secondary here that we're now currently hopping on, we wouldn't have to worry about as much, but it's still considered like a secondary main line through here, so it still have to follow the main line rule. A little bit at least. We want to keep some speed up through here though, and I've adjusted these turns here to handle the speeds a little bit better, because you want to build up some speed for that switch up there to the sawmill. Yeah, we definitely do need knuckle type connectors. It'd be nice, but I think it's definitely out of our time period. We're not quite that advanced in this yet. It'd be nice though, definitely nice. Cause those break way too much. Alright, let's get this going to a nice 35%. He should do him just fine. We'll be running out of fire here soon. Let everybody know that we're in the area. Make sure we don't lose the back of our end of our train here. Make sure we still have the caboose, because if we lose that caboose, we know. I'm so glad we had that caboose, because I would probably not have realized that those cars were splitting like that. Okay, so this is where we gotta watch that switch up there. I mean, this switch doesn't really matter which way it's set, but for the most part, I just like to have it set a certain direction. It makes the loop a little bit easier to handle. Keep it at a nice 13%, because we are going to be going down, I think it's a 1 to 2% grade here, then maybe even a 3. It does drop pretty quick. And you don't realize the hills like that until, and how steep they really are for track, until you start trying to like track across it, and you realize, well, maybe I shouldn't try to go over the peak of that and maybe just go around the hill, which is what we did here. Actually, we'll go ahead and let off our brakes. We won't really start picking up too much speed until we start hitting right about there. I think it's actually flat until right about there, and then we start a 3% grade down. Oh, well then, yeah, if they were invented in 1873, then we definitely need knuckle connectors in here. We definitely do. It would make our jobs 10 times easier, and it would probably hold the cars 10 times better. That switch should be set up there, so we should be good. I do need to move this switch over, and when we go to redo it, I want to put that switch closer back here. Which, in theory, we should be trying to adjust this now before we hop onto it and try to load it up, but it is whatever. Like I said, I squirrel way too much. Are we stopped just right? Yep, just about. We'll see if we can't get this one. We should be good to go. Go ahead and give Davis a few logs of fire here. Or firewood. Yeah, definitely, because this fire's dropping. Get him warming back up there. I really like doing these beams here because there's only 3 per car, so it's really quick to load, but it means you have to do more trains, and that went nowhere, so we're too far back for that one. Cool, let him creep forward. Actually here, you know, we're gonna do this the old way. Or not. Or not. Betsy, you can get away with doing that method, but not with Jack or any of the rest, or not with Davis, and definitely with the rest of the locomotives, because they're too heavy for 3 brakes. So we'll have to back up, sadly. And we're gonna end up dual loading that. That's why we need to fix it, because this switch here messes with the loading of those cranes, and it grabs the wrong car. So then you only really get 1 crane loading a car. Okay, so now I gotta remember what brakes I set. Alright. We'll throw it in reverse, I suppose. Back up, get that 1 car. Which he's not going to want to back up that well. That should be about good enough for it. Should be about good enough for it anyways. And it is awesome. And this is the longest part of the procedure that it takes, is loading these cars. Especially with the tier 1s. The tier 1s and the logs, oh my gosh, it takes so long to load those. But it's because you got 6 logs per car, and you've got 2 cranes moving at the same speed this one is. It takes a bit. But that's how they did it back in the 1800s, in this time period. Okay. I get him creeping forward again, or let him fight gravity for a second. Both work just fine. Oh yeah, he really fine gravity. Okay. That's one thing I do like about Davis is you can see the cars a little bit better. Whereas with Henry, I mean, he's got that tender. I still miss my judgment all the time, but what can I say? I was not trained to run trains. And I passed it. Wonderful. We're backing up again. Oh boy. One of these days I will get this down. I need to have markers showing me where I need to stop. 1 car, 2 car, 3 car. Now these cranes both loaded the cars I wanted them to load, but here in a second this one's going to stop loading that one and it's going to end up loading probably that one. See? I called it. And eventually, for some reason, that one will all of a sudden grab that car instead of that car, so then I'll have to back up. Oh, okay, well. Maybe I actually got the double loading feature, or maybe this one was just a random hit, who knows. Me and the cranes go round and round with the cars that they're trying to load. Okay, we're gonna pull up just so we don't waste wood. Because when they disappear like that, that means we're wasting some logs that we put, work so hard to load up and bring over here. So we really don't want to be letting them disappear like that unless we absolutely have to. Okay. Yep, we're gonna go ahead and stop it right there. Yep, and that should be just good enough to get that 1 car, and then that one should get that car right there. Oh, we don't have that many more beams left anyways. We're gonna have to start taking some lumber to make some more room for beams. Oh, and we just wasted a beam. See, look, we've took a beam from there. It doesn't refill unless we have logs, or unless we take some lumber. So, if we're full, we're gonna pull forward. We've got 2 more cars there. We'll get those 2 loaded with beams, and then we'll load whatever else, the last 2 cars with lumber or something, and take, because we're going up to the iron mine, so it'll take both of them anyways. Which means we have to do some more pulling up and backing up. In that aspect of things, we'll go ahead and get some fuel going in this fire. So we're going to want to be very careful with these next ones because we've only got 1 error to make, and then we've got 2 cars, so. Because each car is 3, there's 7 total, so that's 2 cars and then 1 extra until we get lumber taken. Which that looks beautiful right there, at least from this angle, but when we get over there it'll probably be wrong. Yep, we're barely making it. Hopefully it hits the right car, because it will probably try to grab this one too. Yep. Okay, so there's our 1 error. Now we've got solidly 2 cars left and then we're done with beams. I'll have to pull up just a little bit then. Which is a lot harder than you think because you got to get that slack out of the cars and then you've got to stop. So you've got to take an adjustment for the slack both ways because when you stop, they're going to slink back together. Okay, that should definitely get that. This one should definitely get that one. And then we're out of beams. Okay. Okay. If they do any hokery pokery, we'll have to just go to 1 crane for right now. Then we'll fill the last 2 cars up with this lumber, and that should give us some more room for beams there. Because it used to, you can empty out the beams and they wouldn't come back, even though if you had logs over there in the logging pond, or log pond, until you remove some lumber, which makes sense. Because you've got to be able to take, got to be able to make room. Because let's say you take 1 log, you get some lumber and you get some beams out of it. Alright, so we're fully loaded up there. We've got all of our beams that we can take. We'll go ahead and pull up, flip the switch back up, load those 2 cars back there with those. We'll pull up, flip the switch back again, and we'll probably pull to the other side and fix that section of track, and then we'll go and see what we do from there. But essentially, we've got to get that caboose, the back of that caboose, to the back of this decking right here, because that switch comes out pretty close to that crane. Which, if we pulled it up, it would be a good opportunity to take it, or fix it anyways, but I want to get those 2 cars loaded before I forget and get distracted in something else. See, they'll keep sliding forward for a second, clearing the switch. We'll flip the switch, and then they'll back up. Or I still have an axle on the switch. Oh, Jolly Green Ranchers. Alright, so that should be plenty enough. Cause see, watch, they'll hit each other and then they'll start to move backwards again because of all that momentum has to have somewhere, and it kind of springs backwards sometimes. And that's what can cause them to snap. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna regret doing it like this, but this is driving me crazy. I gotta get this fixed. And of course I use a whole bunch of little sections for some reason. Okay, so the trick is we're coming in on a slope on one side and the other side we're flat. That's what the main problem here was. So our duty is gonna be to back that up just one more. Get some consistent groundwork coming through here. Okay, so we know what's gonna be like if I go ahead and drop that groundwork. Go and get rid of that to where it flattens out with the rest of it. And in theory, that should be level with that when we pass it, yep. And then that will come to there. That is a pretty big drop. I'll just switch that to all for a second. We'll be messing around. Well, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to back this up into that straight. Yeah, like so. Yeah, we'll redo all this groundwork over here so we can get that slowly to come down to the right angle that we need it to. Okay, so we'll start working our turn in slowly. Get that as even as we possibly can, just like that, and bam. We've got a smooth transition in. And we've got to figure out what switch is going to be the best for us to put right here. We can put something like that. Well, that's a little bit too sharp. We've got to put it right about there. So we want to be able to be flat with, or straight with the decking here when we load up this car. So we'll be coming in, and we probably still won't be fully straight with it, but we'll be pretty straight. And then we'll go ahead, take our groundwork and run a section along here. And as you can see, that's where we start our grade there. Come through here, we just want to get rails. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the turn here to our advantage when we start doing this switch. Okay, so we'll pick that up, move a little section, and then we'll just keep it nice and smooth. We'll kind of try to stick in the center or the side of this groundwork as much as possible because we know that's how our switch is set, and where the groundwork is the smoothest. So do a little casual turn here and there, get it lined up beforehand. About right there, okay. And there we go. There's our nice smooth section in. We'll have a little bit of a drop right there, but that is going to be okay because that's a smooth drop. Yeah, it's a smooth drop. We'll be fine. Then we'll go ahead and get our other line here set up, and which this is going to be the tricky one. I goofed that up a little bit, but it'll be fine. So the corner is nice and smooth in, which is what we want to see. Smooth-ish. Make sure that that's all smooth, because there's the transition. We're good there. Alright, so we're flat all the way through. And then we could probably put a switch to go somewhere else if we wanted to right here, but I ain't gonna worry about it. We're gonna just keep it the way we planned it to be. And that's the best we can there. We'll alt it, just make sure it's straight. And we're gonna ultimately need to move over. Just a little bit. There. Alright, that's relatively straight. Okay, and we're set for that switch. Awesome. Let's try our new track out. The little bit that we're actually going to go over it anyways. Alright, now we've got 6 lumber per each car. Just like the logs. So that's, but at least we're only got 2 cars where we're loading. And I can't remember how much lumber we actually have at the iron mine because it's been a minute since I've been up there. We probably got to throw some wood in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we need some wood. That is getting cold. Alright. Oh, I forgot to do my whistle command. I forget all about my whistles sometimes. They're there and I like to use them, but I just forget about them. So now we got 2 cars. We know that we want to stop with that caboose somewhere over there. We want to get the caboose past the 2 locomotives, or there it is, the locomotives, the cranes. See? Brain getting scatterbrained. Okay, we'll probably want to stop it there. Alrighty. Nope, gotta go back more. Unless I actually manage to get a double load with this crane. Cause see, we start taking those dudes. We should hopefully, in theory, at least according to last known knowledge, start making some room for those beams. But I actually don't think we got any more logs over there, so maybe not. Maybe I could be wrong this time. Probably am. Okay, so it looks like he's gonna fill the 1 car. Will you fill that car then? Yeah, we're not getting any more beams. Okay, so that's gonna... We're gonna have to put logs over there then. Which, good thing we got a set of tier 1s ready to go. But we'll take this load of beams up there. We'll see what we need to bring up more of. And just start bringing up some more. We'll start making some money, grinding some money, clearing up these zones. Okay, so that car's got one more to it. Yep, so it's got one more, and then it's just all on this car, which it's got two more. And our caboose is just sitting back here looking all pretty with its reef on the side. Okay, so that should be our last one. Yep, okay. Ooh, there's a crane there. Alright, so while we're sitting over there waiting, we'll come and fix this side real fast. And I actually thought of a way of doing this to where kind of like the way we did it before. We'll put a switch here, and the straight path will be the path that goes off that way to the freight depot, and then the curved path will be the one that sells and takes it back that way. But then I thought about it, and it kind of gets crazy. So what instead we're gonna do is just at least move this over. We'll keep that straight bit there. Take this, and this is why I've been procrastinating about doing this, because that means I gotta go mess with all of this over here. And this was already interesting enough to try to get in there. Take that back quite a bit. That gives us... Take some... Oh, no, not bridges, groundwork. Thank you. We might as well just set it to all. Okay, so there's our track and our grade that's coming off of that dude. Oh. Okay. 18 different grades here. Awesome. I like the way I do things. Okay, so that's the grade that we're trying to go to. So... we'll start with this side first, since we got less maneuverability with where it can go. Where's that put us for level of track? Okay, that honestly awesome right there. Okay, so we'll run a switch right back here on the right side. I think I'm starting to understand why that track was all the way that way. It's okay, we'll put the switch where we need to put the switch. We'll put the ties. Hold on. See if that'll work. Okay, we'll hug that side of the groundwork real fast. Nope, we gotta redo that. Oh, we might as well, since we're working on just rail now, switch that back to rail. Okay, so we've got that. It might be easier just to come to that thing since we know that's in the middle. Awesome. And then we will run this track right here. And we'll start our curve right there. And that's a pretty smooth corner into that, if I do say so myself. It's a little sharp right here, but it's actually not that bad. It's a pretty smooth corner. It should handle that just fine. And then our project is to get that connected up with that. So we're gonna grab our grade out here like so, get it to where that edge is a little bit outside of that, because we're gonna have to raise it up, and once we start raising it up, it'll not match up with the other grade. Okay. Yep, it's about a 1% drop right there. Okay. Alrighty. Now we'll just follow the gradient, so we know we came out right off the switch there. Ooh, messed that up. We're actually going to start from the switch side. So that's where we're going to encounter a lot of problems if it's not done right. Shorten that up so we can turn it. Line that up with that. And bam. Make sure we don't got any weird bumps, because like over here we're going to probably have a weird bump, but nope, the rail handles that just fine. So that is the sawmill fixed. So now you can hit it, that switch, and go that way to go off that way, which would be set for the freight depot, which means that you would probably be picking up like we're doing and then taking straight to the freight depot, so you wouldn't need to worry about selling here, which I could get away with having that switch all the way back there at that point then, or even sooner if we wanted to. But that'll do for now. Let's get back to what we were originally doing. Make sure Henry's still heated up and ready to go. So we gotta flip this switch after the train gets through it, which would be now. And then I'll just go straight across the loop here and meet Davis somewhere on that side. I might have given him too much credit for his speed. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I forgot to check the switch to see if it was flipped the right way. Okay, it was. Awesome. So we come through our little S. This will be where we sell, if we're deciding to sell. The logs anyways. And then this way, we should be smooth to go straight over that 90, the crossover, little dude. See if there's any weird bumps, which there doesn't seem to be, so we're good there. Go ahead and give it some more pressure, because we're going to need a lot more pressure than what we've got going. Okay, and since we're going at a quick speed, we need to beat Davis and the train over to this switch over here. Okay, and now we are... Okay, that was weird. I thought we derailed for a second. We are on our way to the iron mine. And the smelter, and all that good stuff. I'm glad that corner is banked, because as you can see, those cars are coming down quick like that, and they're popping a little bit. Not enough to lose any of them, though. I went through here way faster than that. And everything is set. Still to go like norm. But I do want to show you guys while we're over here, so we'll go ahead and let him start stopping, the new addition to our crossover. So we've added in a few of these, a few more tracks to store cars in. As you can see, there's the raw iron cars. I brought them back over from the west yard, even though that's technically where they need to be anyways, over in that direction. But if we come through on this track here, this takes us to our sheds, and we've got a set of 4 switches here, ladder switches, actually quite a bit more than that. But on that side, we've got our water and our sand if we want to fill up there, with our turntable on the end, turn you around if you want to. And then we've got our 4 areas, or our 4 sheds for our locomotives, so we'll open up the doors here. And inside, we've got Nancy sitting over here. We've got Betsy sitting over here. Nice smooth area. And if you didn't know, that's ventilation. Those little dudes you can barely see are ventilation for the smokestacks. So when they're running pressure or whatever, they're smoking, they're heating them up, it gets channeled out through those chimneys. So it's not like it's actually really all that heated, but it keeps it warm. The windows do move. So this one's got Lincoln Henry. See, it's long enough for them. Barely for Henry, though. He's a pretty big boy, but these windows do go up and down, so in the summertime when the snow melts and stuff, we can open up those if it gets a little hot in here. If we're doing maintenance on the locomotives, we can keep it cool in there if we need to. We've got our crossover track right here from basically locomotive side to the yard side where we store the cars, so we can cross over there if we want to. And then we've got a little crossover right over there where we can cross over from the secondary main line into the switch here. So honestly, if we really wanted to be lazy, we could come out the same way that we just did and then hit that switch right there, and we'd be rolling right into here. And that way we wouldn't have to sit there and come around the crossover again or back up just to pull into the switches here. So we can use it if we want to, but it's not really going to be a big thing. It's just there if we need it. If we don't, that's still alright. I need to get another switch going off for the refill line to refill that freight depot, because it's getting a little low. so we'll have to do that here soon. But one thing at a time, for sure, for sure. Go ahead and get going here. Since we've applied our regulator, we'll go ahead and hit the whistle. Since we're still in the yard, we'll hit our bell and we'll get going. We'll check his fire, make sure it's still good. He's got a 42. There we go. We're on our way. We're on our way to the iron mine. So we were down at the coal mine. Now we'll hit that switch, go the other way, go through all that craziness, and chug our way up to the iron mine, which I don't have good luck so far with the iron mine in Davis and a set of in tier 2s. I don't have good luck, so probably gonna end up losing our train somewhere, which is a good thing we have a caboose with us. I might actually have to go back there real quick and set a brake on it, so that way when we start going up to the iron mine, it keeps constant tension on those cars rather than just free floating like they are now. So it would be nice to have a brakeman. It would definitely be nice. But I'm gonna go ahead and take a little coffee break real fast. And as you can see, it does take some time to actually get across one side of the map to the other side of the map to load up these cars. So that's why the crossover is nice, having all those cars fully loaded like that. Alright, so we're going to have to start increasing pressure to about 25% to start with, so we don't break the couplers again. Alright, we are on our way. Let everybody know that we're officially heading full steam, or heading steam. Head steam, head speed, all the same thing to where we're going. We're letting all of our pressure out, by the way, too, just an FYI. And see, you can tell Davis is going a little bit too quick for his center of gravity because he's tipping. That's not even a sharp corner either, it's a 15% corner. Well, this is a 15. That's, I think, a 16. Something like that. It's been so long ago that I actually built this. And we'll have to empty out our other tier 2s that we have that have the raw iron on them here in a minute, so we can start hauling the car like 18 cars over to these areas and start really filling them up. But this will do for right now. Just look at that view. See, that's where we just were. And we were just over there. And now we're over here. Alright, make sure all of our pressure's doing alright. Generator's still on. We've still got plenty of water. See how our fire's doing, about a 54%, so we're doing alright there. We're actually moving at a pretty good clip right now. slowly back off the regulator because we're coming to the flat grade, or we're on the flat grade. We're about to start going downhill here momentarily, so start cutting our power now in little increments so that way we don't end up breaking a car off back there. And it'll become more important that we do that the closer we get to the iron mine. Just trust me, that track, definitely interesting. And hey, at least this way we'll get to pick up Jack and haul him back up to the iron mine and get him in a shed somewhere. Because he definitely needs it. And I think, if I remember right, he's even low on water. Like, so we might actually have to tow Jack here. Run tandems. It will be interesting. If we have to end up running a tandem, we'll put Jack in between Davis and the cars here. And well, no, we'll end up probably putting Jack in front of Davis. We'll have to turn Davis around. So Davis's front's facing the cars and the caboose, and then we'll put Jack facing forward, put Davis at about a 10% reg, and use Jack to control the train as much as possible until we either run out of water or we run out of fuel. Either or do work. But we'll see what we can get into when we get over there. We gotta also remember that switch, because it's set for the coal mine at the moment. And then we'll get to see our hopper cars that we haven't seen in ages. I should have bought another one while I was over there, back on that side of the map. I should have. Those hopper cars are like $850 a piece, if I remember right, or they might be just a tad bit less than that, I can't remember. But they're not cheap. It does definitely take quite a bit, but you start selling the stuff that they haul, and you start making that back. The problem is there's a lot of work you got to put into it before you can start selling that stuff. So, but that iron does sell for a lot. We might be able to get another hopper if we sold that raw iron to the ironworks, like we're supposed to. See, there's poor old Jack just sitting there waiting for everybody. And while we go down through this mess, we'll go ahead and clean up the mess as we go through it. And then the next stage after that will start to be to move the track. Gets us a little bit closer to getting a little bit more of a finalized project with our track here. Like I said, we'll probably end up using the metal bridges for this portion, but I'm also kind of waiting to see on redoing this if I really want to work up enough courage to go back through that ravine, because if I can, I want to try to lower see if we can get as low as we can in that ravine as we go through it, and then so my goal is to come out on this plateau somewhere that we're going over right now, somewhere along the edge of the plateau, along this stretch somewhere, come down on it, preferably down here, because then I could just cycle or circle a track through these mountains down here and work a track in with a loop that heads into the smelter like that or something. Look at all these frosty trees. The snow really does look really good. Eventually, like I said, I would hope to see like a seasons in here where it'll rotate, just kind of like Farming Simulator seasons in Farming Simulator, where it rotates, where you have summer, spring, fall, and winter. I think that'd be pretty cool. There's different temperatures and it affects the locomotives. There would be snow buildup on the track. I think that would be pretty cool, because Link's got a snow plow on the front of his cattle pusher, or yeah, so I think it would be pretty cool to have some snow buildup on the track to be able to plow it off the track like that. Granted, it's not a very big plow, so I don't want to see too much buildup. If you had too much buildup, we would have to get like actual wedge plow locomotives, and that would be insane. Trying to go back and forth with those steam locomotives. See, the only bit of track we really need is this little bit that circles around like so. The rest of all of that, all of this can all be erased. Pretty much all through there. Because that track actually, you can kind of see it hugs that mountain like so and goes that way. And comes out somewhere over there, comes across, and bam, you're down in the smelter. And that's the return line to the iron mine, which we'll be heading across here soon. Or not here soon, but sometime in the near future. Let Jack know we're coming. Slowly. Got like a nice 8% brake. We'll get there eventually. Had our sander going this whole time. Alright. Put some fuel in there. Keep that fire warm, keep some steam going to keep that generator turning. This is sketchy. Running across the train. For that reason right there, sometimes jumping across these trains or these cars like this don't really work that well. Especially when you're going through a turn. If I let off the brake, how much brake does that caboose really give us at a 20% brake? About what you would figure. So we gotta start stopping. Let the caboose do the rest of the work on that. Alright, we'll run out in front of Davis here as the caboose is kind of gently slowing us down and kindly slowing us down. And then we'll flip this switch and run back to Davis. Ooh, this switch is always a sketchy one to hit. Okay, Davis shouldn't have any brakes on. Should just be the caboose back here, which we'll use the caboose for the little bit here to act what it's actually designed for. Or one of the reasons it's actually designed for. Go let off on our brake. Oh, come on. Take our little firewood, throw it in our little heater here. Keep us nice and warm. We'll sit here and enjoy the ride from the caboose. For the first time in like ever. Got a little fireplace going, keeping it nice and warm in here for us. Got like a nice little desk dealio. I don't think the windows do anything for us right now. Back here we can enjoy the view from behind us. Have a look at that. It's so peaceful sounding, the river and everything. Oh, that's so nice. It feels like we're going to eventually come to a stop, but we won't, because Davis should start hitting that 3% downgrade again, which we may need to actually run up to Davis and hit some brakes in Davis, because I don't think the caboose is going to be enough to stop us, but we can see what we can see and go from there. Can't really see that corner very well until we get over there. Yeah, we're about to start hitting that 3% grade here momentarily. There we go. Yep. Okay, so we'll throw a 100% brake on the caboose to help keep the cars slowing down from that angle, run up to Davis up here, and brake a little bit with Davis. See, it's much safer braking with the back like that, primarily from the back, because then you don't have, like, all those cars are pushing against each other and trying to push each other off the track to push the locomotive down the hill. They're kind of pulling back a little bit. And granted, yes, we are using the locomotive a little bit to brake, but I mean, this is how, what the caboose was, one of the reasons for the caboose was this right here. You'd brake with what you can in the caboose, and then the rest of it would be in the locomotive. Yeah, he really did. The caboose's color in the inside is really, really pretty perfect, and so is the on the outside. They did a really good job on the caboose. I'm really impressed with it, and I do like the little fireplace detail to it, because they didn't have to put the fireplace in there, but or even make it work like that, but they did, and it's cool. I like that fact, that feature. But see, now we've got like a nice gentle break between both the locomotive and the caboose, and we can kind of just gently go and slow ourselves down and keep us at a nice smooth pace where no one's going all crazy. The cars are relatively under control, all of that good stuff. And like I said, when we start going up to the iron mine, we might actually put probably like a 10 to 25% brake on that caboose back there to kind of keep some tension on those cars, because Davis here will have some issues. And that may not even actually help us. I'm just kind of hoping it does. We can release his brakes now. And I cannot remember which way we need to go, but I'm pretty sure we need to flip that. And so the nice thing is we still got brakes on the back end, so I know it is still kind of keeping it at some type of brake, and when it comes down to a point to where it's got no more momentum, it'll actually fully stop. We gotta flip that switch and hurry, because he's coming in quick behind us. Yeah, like right on it, type of up behind us. Okay, we'll end up, yep, so we're set to the main line, which is beautiful. We're putting our brakes on here. Haven't seen this area in a long bit. Okay, so we'll come to a nice stop here. And we'll go ahead and get old Jack here ready to go. If he will, that is. He's usually not a picky person. Let's see, what's your water like? Your water's, oh, your water probably frozen. Alright, so we will get your generators and all that working. Oh, no, open, yep. Okay, release the brake, cylinder chocks up, awesome. Reverser, we want all the way forward, and this dude we can start putting at a nice 10% rig. And he should start moving. And we'll get Jack put on the front of Davis here. Which means we have to go pretty good distance out. Some main lines right off to our left, so we gotta go straight through this dude, come through this switch and flip it and back up. Like so. Awesome. Let's look at that. That is cool. The nice thing about the the climax is you can see all the gears, and if you look, I'm gonna try to do it anyways. You can see all the gears internally right there that it's powering, which is cool. That is super neat. But that is why he is so much slower than the rest of them. It's not really necessarily because of his size, it's just because he's all gears. How's your fire doing, buddy? Probably want some more fuel. Okay, he's starting to gain his pressure. It's awesome. Okay, we're almost through the switch, Jack. Almost, buddy. Then you won't have to work so much under your own power. Come on, buddy. You got it. Oh, no, 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 buddy. Wrong way, wrong way. I'm trying not to get him going too much farther than that switch. Come on, get off those prongs. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, and good for a stove too. The fireplace in the caboose is also good for that. For cooking meals on the go. Keeping you warm and cooking meals. Probably they just really just had lunches and they just probably set them on top of the fireplace or the stove there and let it heat it. Oh. Oh gosh, this is gonna be bad, guys. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, gonna be bad. Yikes. That's rough. We probably popped a car off or two, for sure, on that one. Come on there, Jack. There you go, buddy. Honestly, what I should do... Hold on, I gotta redo this. We gotta change some plans here. We've got a brake on our caboose still. I'll set this brake up here just to play it safe. Disconnect you. Yep. And the double gear rejection is what causes. That's what that's called, by the way. Yeah, is a double gear reduction. Double. Okay, so we'll get past that just a little bit for Jack, or there it is, Jack Davis. Probably a little bit more. Or not, we're gonna, not enough regulator. Okay, so we'll go ahead, we can push Jack if we need to with Davis, but what our goal is, we're gonna put Jack over here in this side line over here. What is that line there for anyways? Why? I don't know. I don't know why this is here. I don't understand. It's not needed, really. Maybe to store cars. But what we'll do instead, while we're over here, go with our nice red. Oh, I need to be careful doing that. We'll put it facing this way. Okay, we're good, awesome. This may be a little bit close for what I want to do, but we're about to see. Oh yeah, it's definitely a little bit too close. Let's go ahead and put this switch down first so then we can see what we gotta work with. Okay, and then we could throw barn red in there. Where does that put that? Oh, I didn't think that would fit there. Still really close for that one track, but for both of them. Okay, so what we're gonna do, come through with that. Clear some room for us. We'll put our little bridge, barn red. Make sure we can see our track. We'll get it angled the way that we want it to be. Gives us how much room after this switch over here? Probably none. Yeah, you could probably squeeze a barn going off that way. We go out to there roughly. Run a line across here like so. Come this way. Okay, and then our dudes are set like that, so we'll run the barn right about probably there, to be real honest. Yeah, because that clears that, and we'll just use that as a storehouse for trains going that direction. So all we gotta do is just actually get the, oh, that's actually not gonna be right. We need to take that away. next, so. See, I squirrel way too much. I think kind of like that would be actually alright. A little boop over, and then we can flatten out with these dudes. So open up our doors real quick. Alright, we got a tree over there. And part some ground. Good thing we're not going to be storing big locomotives like Henry over here. At least in that one. Okay, and then the next trick is going to be getting that one into that one. Ooh, that's going to be a little bit rougher than I thought it was going to be. That should work. For the time being. For that one anyways. Now we gotta go hook up this other guy up real fast. So we can put Davis in it, because we're going to be putting Davis in the shed up here and taking Jack like we're supposed to. I did not place that straight. I didn't back up too much today. No. Okay, so we'll hook up the easy one first. I say easy one, but I still feel like it's going to cause us some problems. The main thing is the locomotives just only have to be able to cross it, not any cars or anything crazy, so just make sure our corners are good enough for a locomotive, and then, which this one's not going to be whatsoever. That is a rough little, we'll see. I think it's going to probably pop off, if I'm being real honest. So we'll get Davis, we're going to actually try that rough one. We're going to put Davis there and see. Okay. Put him up to a nice 10% reg. Alrighty. Got a nice little barns here for our locomotives to store them in here when we're stopping like that. This is what this was designed for, what Jack is up here for, and so this is really what we will be doing once we get stuff running, because Davis will be from the journey, strictly from the crossover to either the smelter here or to the coal mine like we just did, and Jack will be the train or the locomotive from the smelter to the iron mine, since that track can be really rough even for Davis. Okay, we'll back him up in there and straight through. That switch is perfect. I've got an idea. I didn't think this one was going to be the harder one to place. Okay, so, oh, no, I accidentally just placed that. Good thing facilities don't cost you money, because yeah. Try that. We still didn't hit that dude. I think we're putting it in the same place somehow. That should make it just a tad bit easier for us to put that in there. As long as we clear that, yeah. Come on. See, I fight these barn doors a lot. And then we're running into the problem where that one's not going to line up except for very sketchily. I might just have to give up on this barn for a second. Yeah. So we just won't use that door or that side yet until I can come back through and actually put this somewhere, like in a way that it will work. I don't want to take up all of our time just messing around with the dang barn. We've got one that'll hold Davis, and we only really need one to be really truly honest. So I don't know why I'm trying to put multiple in here, like we're going to store like 18 trains up here, or locomotives. Davis is going to go night-night for a bit. All right. Shut his generator off, which will shut his lights off. We'll close that valve so the tank will hold air. Keeping brakes on, and we'll release those. Open that all the way up. Let his steam out. Which there shouldn't be too much more. Oh yeah, we have a full tank. Okay, so we'll let him keep relieving his steam, and we'll get hooked up to our cars and get ready to go. Make sure Jack's all ready too, so we don't have a firewood depot up here. David's just letting his steam go. He's going night-night for a little bit. Okay. Heard the clicky, so we're good. Release that brake, and then we've got our caboose brake, which we'll go ahead and release. Okay. It would be better to use those two sheds, or that shed right there versus that shed. Really what I need to do is put these in here in a way to where, yeah, I'll have to redo this area, but we'll have two actual sheds up here to hold 4 locomotives. Okay, so we'll apply full brake. How's your heat doing? Okay. Let him sit there, warm up some more, get some firewood or fire going. And we will, looks like Davis is done dumping his steam. Yep, so Davis is all shut down. See, we're holding pressure, which is awesome. We'll go ahead and shut that. And bam. That's how you put a locomotive away. Keeping it warm in the freezing environment. Such as this. Okay, we are set straight through, awesome. Okay, I'll give him some more firewood to get the journey going. I'm sure he would appreciate that. Shut his firebox for now. Just look at him go. Oh, Davis, I've missed Davis so much. Alright, we still got everybody after we ran and smacked into the cars with Jack. Things that happen when you try to show off. So where are your little spots that you... What are your little issue spots, huh? Okay, so we've got the cabin and that's it, and then the back here, just kind of like Davis. So if we try to go in the front anywhere, yeah, we go right through it. Alright, that works. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get some more pressure going. How's his water? Did we check his water? Yeah, his water was good. He's a moving now. Thousand wonders how I don't derail trains more often. Alright. Here we go, guys. Up to the coal mine. Alright. Let's see if Jack's... I don't know if Jack can pull it all the way up there, but we're about to see. He should be able to. He should be plenty powerful enough to pull that loaded train. And he won't move fast enough to tip himself off the track. He only has like a max speed of 5 meters per second or something like that. What is that switch? Oh, that's that little runaway thingy. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That track right there literally has no purpose whatsoever. I am not going to try to pronounce your name because I don't want to mess it up, but I love the climax too. The climax is so awesome. The climax is it's one of my favorites. It's one of the reasons why I actually got it in the Heisler and the Shays are the reasons why I actually really loved steam engines and started getting into steam engines for the most part. And then, you know, I do like the locomotives with the tenders and stuff. Those are cool, and they have their own purpose. But the climax here, Jack has just, he is an awesome locomotive. We're about to get knocked off the train. See, that's what we're about to be on, which is really high considering where we're at right now. And see, that's that nowhere good track. It doesn't go to anywhere except down there in that corner and just stops. The climax in this game works really well, and yeah, Steam is definitely the best. The climax does work really well. He's small, so he can switch the cars around on the switches and the yards really nicely, and he's a smooth locomotive, and that's why he's really the only locomotive I will take hauling a train up through here, because this section that we're going through right now, and especially that bend, is really hard for Davis. Davis, when you start, that rod adds a little bit of slop in those wheels, and it causes him to not be as smooth as Jack here, the climax. So, because this has got a full gear system all the way from boiler to the wheels, all gear, where the Heisler has a little bit of rods. It uses gear to power the truck, and then it uses rods to power the rest of the truck, the rest of the wheels on those trucks. So you get a little bit of rod slop in there, but Jack here, he's a little locomotive. He can get through a lot of stuff, and he can pull, in actual reality, him, the Heislers, and the Shays can pull up to about a 10% grade, roughly. But it's rough on them. But they have the gears to do it, and that's why, like here, he's a little locomotive, but he's pulling this up just fine. I mean, yeah, he's running at a 50% rake, but it's better than what Link and Henry do. Link and Henry are about 80% rake when they go through. Oh, trees. I forgot about trees. We might have trees on the track, guys. But no, he works really good at pulling the trains up this, and he's really smooth, and he's the only locomotive I actually will pull a train like this up through here with, because of just what he can do. The Heisler, he's good for all the way to the coal mine. He's good for that area, but you try to bring the Heisler up here with the train, you'll lose your cars somewhere in this area and on that bend over there. Oh, you have a G-scale climax? That is so awesome. My dad, he has a G-scale Shay. I think he has a climax too. And then I can't remember if he has a Heisler or not, but G-scale is awesome. Oh, we're about to fall off the climax, guys. Yeah, I love trains. I've always loved trains as a kid, and I started out on G-scale with my dad. Like, my dad showed me G-scale because when I was little, you know, he didn't want me to play with all the little locomotives, so we'd play at the G-scale, and that's what kind of got me into all the trains and stuff. So I definitely feel that right there with the climax. That is awesome. See, normally right there, if you take any of the other locomotives with the tier 2s like this and this length of a train, they will snap in half right there at that turn. You have a Shay? Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. I don't know why we keep on trying to fall off the track, or the train there. That is awesome. So you have a Climax and a Shay in G-scale? That is awesome. I do like that. I wish they would add a Shay in here, because I think that would be a pretty cool feature to add in as a Shay. And if they did, I would definitely get one too. I really want to almost get another Climax as well. That is cool. And see, Jack here is just chugging along just fine. Like, he did that with no problem. And he's only going to go so fast, which is awesome. You got a 440 for Christmas? Oh, that's badass. That is badass. Do you have a pretty good layout to be running it on, or? Oh, if they have 7 Shays for this game planned, that will be legit right there. We will get all 7 of them. I promise you that. And if they add any more Climaxes too. Oh, we are dying out here. Why are we dying out? We've got steam, right? What's your fire pressure? Fire pressure, there it is. He's got good fire. So it's not steam he's running out of. I think I just cut his power too much. I will definitely get a some Shays. And I'm glad that you got a 440 for Christmas. That is cool. That is cool. Oh, no, that's awesome. I've always wanted to do something like a garden railroad. Definitely. I've always thought about it, thought it was a cool idea to have, but never really had anywhere, like, had the space to do it. So that's why I've kind of taken to railroads online a lot, but that would definitely be cool to have a garden railroad. Be able to customize your track like that. Oh, I think it would just be a lot of maintenance in the, like, when the weather changes and stuff. If there's 80 different locomotives planned, that'll be awesome. Well, it's gonna be a lot of work, because that means I'm gonna have to put a lot of barns down, because I'm gonna have a lot of locomotives by the end of it, especially if I already have 2 Heislers and I plan to get at least another Climax here soon. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of trains, a lot of locomotives. Oh, live steam G-scale, that is awesome. My dad had one once, and I just loved playing around with it. It was awesome. Steam engines, they just hit that certain knack, because you can hear them chug like this, and you can see the smoke and the steam just coming out of the smokestack. They just have their own personality to them. And to have them in G-scale and have that reenactment is awesome. It's awesome. And here soon, we're actually almost to the iron mine. We're almost there. See, there's my little stopper. So when we're switching locomotives around, we don't just roll right off the track into like a 50-foot drop. And apparently our whole train's made it with us, so that's awesome. Okay, we're gonna start cutting power now. We might actually want to start applying some brakes, making sure our switches are set. See, look at that. That is just so cool. See all of his gears moving. That is awesome. I love the climaxes too. Okay, so we're gonna turn him up to about a 5% reg, keep him cruising, a nice casual speed up, and the nice thing is he's gonna go slow, gives us plenty of time. That double gear reduction's super awesome. Alright, so that is set straight, that is good. See, there's our hopper cars just sitting over there chilling. Our little turntable. See, that's the nice thing right there with the climax. Just look at that. You can set him at a nice 5% reg and expect him to still continue to go forward. And he's still coming up a grade. Like, it's like a 1%. It's starting to flatten out right where he's kind of at. But he's still kind of pulling that load up a grade. And he's just chugging along. Just pulling at a nice, slow, casual speed. Oh, he's up. I love the climaxes. Davis, you can kind of get him to do this, but not quite as slow and as well. So that's definitely a plus. And as you've seen, he made it up here without any issues whatsoever. As much as I was goofing off with him a little bit here and there. But alright, so we gotta really get ready to start selling these. We're gonna cut his power. Okay, we're gonna try to do this. I don't know if I'm gonna fully get it all the way or not. Oh, that one's not gonna sell. There we go. And we should have... We don't have any lumber, so we're gonna have to... We might actually have to stop and sell some lumber. Yeah, because we're only gonna get 2 more in here before we have to sell some lumber. How many cars is that we still got? So we got 4. So what we'll do... I hate doing this. I really do, but we're gonna go ahead and pull up, keep pulling up until we get to those dudes and unload them, and then the iron mine will start processing. Or what? Oh, we do have a firewood depot up here. Okay, we'll go ahead and start slowing Davis down even more. Or not Davis, there it is, Jack. Okay, so we've got 4 cars of beams left. We've got 2 cars of lumber. And see, Jack is so perfect for this area because it's a tight yard, it's super small, and he can just smoothly pull forward and switch, and he's a smaller version of a Heisler, but also with the double gear reduction, so he's got full gears, and it just makes moving around in this yard particularly really much more smooth and simpler. Okay, so we should be stopping momentarily. Yeeps. And that should give us at least... Wow. I definitely misjudged that. We're gonna have to back up just a little bit. I definitely misjudged that. Yes, getting to the iron mine is really rough to do. Like, because you've got to climb up at such a height to where, I mean, like, look at this. We're that far off the ground. Like, you're really far. You got to climb up. And for the most part, we climbed a 3% grade until I think right about there somewhere, and then we hit a flat grade coming in. Well, a flat for the most part. I think it hits a 1% through here to match the terrain. But getting up to the iron mine is really tricky, and it's really tricky getting something set up to it. So that's why we really kind of struggled getting to the iron mine. But once we did, and we kind of got a route planned, then I was able to kind of go back and adjust some of it and tweak it. Like, we'll see the return line, which this is technically a double main line through here, but it's really just a siding. Either where you could store cars on that one or this one, and there's literally just a siding. That's all that is. But we'll see how the return line comes out, and it comes out a little bit differently than the rest of them. Are you just being... What are you hanging up on, my guy? Oh, nothing. You're just trying to get going. Okay, I see, I see. You continue to do you, Jack. Not that fast, buddy. Yeah, getting to the iron mine can be really tricky, though. I wish you good luck on that. It's definitely really rough to get here. I mean, you could do it with the climaxes and the heisters with their insane grades that they can climb to get up here. If you wanted to make it to where Link and Henry can get up here, it's a little bit more tricky, just due to the sheer fact of the grades. You have to kind of plan your increase, and you have to follow the ridge lines, because at some points you can get the track will get so high off the ground to where it won't touch and you can't place it. So that's why I kind of had to stick to the mountains a little bit and really kind of plan my route. It's still going to get adjusted because I don't quite like how it is, but I finally have like a primitive route there, or to here, to where I can kind of start adjusting it a little bit. Okay, hopefully we're going to where we can go downhill. No, he's not going to move at all now. Come on, buddy. See, he just slowly creeps on up. Like, if we look at this, just slowly creeping. You can watch all of his gears all the way through there to that one all get moving. I'm just so glad that they modeled it that well, though. Most places probably, most game developers probably would have stopped with like it going into the truck and had like a box here for the truck, but not these guys didn't. They went all the way to the gears inside. Like you can see that that gear powers that one, turns that whole axle, and you've got, if you come back here, it continues to go through, and that one powers that. You got your spur gears and stuff, which is really neat. A lot of them would have stopped way before that and wouldn't have put as much detail into it. Exactly. If I get another climax, I probably will name it Jill, so we can have Jack and Jill climbing the hill in tandem together, pulling up to the iron mine. I think it would be pretty cool. And now that I finally kind of placed Jack where he's going to be and know that this is pretty much his domain, we'll get another climax for that power. Because like I said, we're eventually going to get up to, we're going to eventually try some 50 car trains. We're not going to do it often because back in the day, their couplers and their cars wouldn't be able to handle it. The metal would snap or would pull straight out of the wood frames. So we won't do it too much, but we'll have those moments where we'll pull some pretty long trains. It'll be pretty awesome, and we'll have to have Jack and Jill climbing the hill, Nancy and Davis climbing, and we'll have to have probably Link and Henry. Although I don't really like running those in tandem, those two in tandem. The way that their front coupler is kind of not really ideal, but okay. So that should give us some lumber for the coal mine, which we're sitting at about 6. It'll process that as it's processing those, clearing up some more room for us. So we will give it a few seconds to process here. But if we come over here and look, so far we have 3 cars, hopper cars, almost a 4th one, because every 10 of those units up there on the iron ore is one car, because one hopper car. So in total we can pull 29 hopper cars of stuff out of here if we really wanted to. But we've got to wait for those to be completely empty, and then we'll see where we're at with this and see how many cars we can put into here. So we're down to 9 out of 20 now. 3 per car. We've got 4 cars, so we've got 12. We need to clear up enough room for 12 beams, which I think once I think we got literally just 12 spot for 12 beams. That'd be awesome. And depending on what that finishes out at, we might be able to actually take a load of iron ore to the smelter. I mean, because we've only got 5 hopper cars. Which, if we happen to try to take a load of hoppers down, we'll take them down with the empty tier 2s, and then we'll drop the empty hoppers once we at the smelter after we get done with them, and then we can take these tier 2s and pick up the raw iron and the rails on these tier 2s, and we can take the rails to the coal mine and make some more coal, and we can really start working our route that way. So it's kind of awesome. I've wanted to do it to where we did multiple loads like this, because the one loads in an episode kind of not really that fun. And I know this is a live stream, so it's not technically a full-on episode, but it allows us to be able to get some more loads and see some more things, actually have a chance to run multiple locomotives and multiple trains and be in multiple places. So we are still backing up, and we'll actually use our brakeman car here and use the door, surprisingly, I know. And we'll go ahead and use this dude to kind of stop us, since the caboose has got a lot of braking power. At this rate, we might as well just let it go all the way back. Can't believe I missed it that bad. Oh. I mean, we do. Jack isn't that heavy compared to Davis, though. So it shouldn't have been that bad. But I think we are going. Yeah, we're going down that hill. That grade. Okay, so we will come over here. I'm going to set this brake, and I'm going to set that brake. And we'll hit that to sell, if it will sell. Come on. Yep, thank you. Okay. Alrighty, awesome. So now we will pull forward and get that last car, and then we'll go down the return line so you guys can see how the return line comes out, and that maybe hopefully give you some ideas on how to get to the iron mine if you want. Because it is definitely an interesting beast trying to get up here. We've got enough weight going down that hill. And definitely not enough steam to cope with it. Okay, so we'll let Davis get going. We've got his brake set, and then we'll make sure that we'll close the door on the caboose here and make sure that the brake on it is okay. That is cool. I really like the fact that they added in a caboose and that they've got like 80 locomotives planned for this. That's gonna be awesome. Okay, come on. See, I fight with these doors. That's why I don't. That's why I just go through them. I fight with the doors too much. Something about them doors don't get along with me, and we argue a lot apparently. I understand it. He's got pressure. Let me see. No, but I want those. Okay. He should be fine with this at 10%. I don't know why he's having issues right now. Maybe that sand really does help. We probably had some ice on the rails is really what happened. We probably really did just have ice on the rails. We're gonna have to stop the train from Jack and just sell it stopped. Wow, that's insane. I need to pull up a little bit more. Oh, the jollies of not judging the distance correctly. Yeah, if we're over here, you kind of have to start him on a 10% rig. If you don't, he'll slide backwards. I forgot about that. And then once you start sliding backwards, you're just kind of SOL. Remember, we don't want to pull too far forward, just enough to get that car straightened out along that deck. Just like so, and we'll sail it. We'll sail it all. What does that give us? Yep, okay, that maxes out our beams. So now the next load that we've got to bring up is going to be lumber. We'll bring 24, so that's 4 cars of lumber. We've got a full 20 set, so we got 20 beams, so need 4 cars of 4, and then I think it's every one of those to one of those is something of that. Yeah. So if we have 12 cars, we'll bring up 2 sets of 24, which one will get rid of that, and then one will fill it up. So yeah, this will be a perfect set to bring up. How much iron does that give us? 41 so far. We'll have to bring up more lumber before we can take iron down. Yeah. Alrighty, well let's get going, shall we? Moving at about 15% rig. We'll give our little whistles that I never do, apparently. I could turn the locomotive around through the round table and all this jockeying around, but then I have the caboose back there, and it's just much simpler to take the return line, even though I'm pretty sure there's going to be trees on it. So, we're probably going to derail and run into a tree, so be prepared for that. It'll be hilarious for you guys. For me, it's going to suck. And see, really, technically, when I designed all of this, that was supposed to be the main line. And this was just the siding, and then I tightened it back into that, and now I have hopper cars stored on the main line, which you can just use this, so it's not like it hurts anything. Except for when the switch is not set. Gosh, I'm cutting it close with these switches today. Oh boy, I'm cutting it super close. Alright. So, if I remember right, this is a 1% grade from 90% of the way. The last like 10 to 20% will be the part where we actually drop our grade to 3%. And when we're going through here, we're going to definitely utilize our speed that we gain from gravity to our advantage and help us get going a little bit. Because this side can be a little tricky. The nice thing about Jack is his center of gravity is a lot lower than the Heisler's. And he can go around these corners a little bit faster because he's a little bit lower to the ground. Which is also why he's really good for this area. Because taking Jack through here would be is a nightmare. It really is. Or not Jack. Davis, the Heisler. As you can see, we pretty much, to get up to the Iron Mine, we just follow that ridge all the way around. And we pop in that little valley somewhere that's around, that's right there. We go in, we come back around, we just hug that mountain ridge all the way down, which is the other side of this. And then we kind of come across that plateau and level out. Whereas the coal, or this return line hugs this side of the ridge all the way down. And then somewhere where all that craziness is, we'll actually hook around the mountain right there and come back around. So the return line is definitely a lot longer of a route, but it is a little bit smoother for the trains, a little bit easier for some of them. Not that really any of them need to be worried about it except for Jack. That way our primary braking is done from the brakeman car. We have it, we might as well use it. Ring our bell a little bit. Gosh, that is such a nice view. See, there's that spot where that track switches off the main over there, and is that one track that just goes into that ridge and kind of, or goes into that ridge over there and just kind of stays. I actually wanted, I think I was going to do is try to run it around here and then come down through here. We could hook it back that way somewhere. I think it would be pretty neat. But the actual main line is right there. That track up there is an attempt to get to the smelter from our other main line on the other side of the ridge. But we come down through there, and then we come out over there, because we go around that loop-de-loop. That's that's Death's Alley right there, where we lose, where 90% of the time I will lose my cars, is through this that little valley there. Yeah. Yeah. And then that is where we're actually about to be. So what we're gonna do is, once we come around this side, I'll show you guys. But when we come around this, we'll follow the mountain ridge all the way around like so, and then we'll come down through here and we'll come around that way. So instead of going back through that craziness over there, we kind of cut it early and try to avoid it as much as possible. And I've got to clean it up at some point. See, now we're starting our 3% grade. Which is nice having that caboose back there helping us slow down from the rear. See, oh, I need to get a good view of this. So that's our main line, and with all the craziness, and then that's where the route that we were going to take this. And see, we did come across over here, but that's when I decided that we came into the smelter a little bit wrong, even though we still do. But this way, it kind of follows the mountain a little bit better and doesn't do some weird, sketchy stuff. So if you look up ahead here, we really do just kind of follow this mountain ridge that we literally were just on. And it's amazing how quick we just dropped a whole lot of elevation. So we went from up there to up there in just that amount of time. So it's pretty insane. And as you can see here, we actually bridge over this little valley, the river, and the valley below us. So we come off of this, and then we bridge over, and we hit that side of the ridge, and we follow it through. So we've got a nice little river running below us that goes all the way that way. It's awesome. Eventually, I hope to have a track near it too. So we've got to be careful because it'll be slick in the wintertime. Now, I haven't actually tested a full train on this yet. I've tested locomotives on it, like Jack himself and as such, but I haven't tested a train. So we're about to see if this track was designed pretty well, or if it was designed poorly. But it's definitely really nice having that braking car back there. And look at that, we're at the smelter. Crossing on all over all of our main lines down there. You can kind of see how the crossover, or not the crossover, the smelter layout is from an aerial point of view. It's probably, I think, it is the only yard in here where you get like an actual decent aerial view of. Just because there's no drones, there's no way to actually get a decent aerial view. That's the old line that I gotta go rip out over there. It comes around there and does that sharp turn. And it used to come through here and come this way, and yeah, it was just too crazy for a whole bunch of cars. Oh, and we actually... Oh, no, we didn't. We're just gotta... To get this train set up to go back the way we need it is going to be a little bit of a hokey pokey, but we've also got to take Jack off and put Davis back on. And then we'll be on our way back over to the crossover after we clean up that circle a little bit. I want to do that while I'm down here. Okay, we can actually probably release Jack's brake and just run off the cabooses for a bit. So nice thing is we don't have a switch right here, but we got a switch over there that we got to worry about, which we'll have to flip after us. Okay. And see, if we wanted to, had some iron that we wanted to pull, we could go straight into the iron, pick up iron. But we're not gonna worry about that. And everything should still be set from the first time we came through, so we don't gotta worry about it as much. We are still running a brake on the brakeman, right? Yeah, we are. Okay. And we'll hop off here. I really wish we had Y switches. I think that would be a neat thing to add in. Okay. Go ahead and let the caboose we'll leave the caboose's brake on and we'll let it stop wherever it stops. Well, with the help of Jack here momentarily, because we don't want to pass that switch. And then that way we can pull Davis back out and get Jack aligned, or back in his little warm box. Awesome. Okay. So we will uncouple Jack, pull him up. We want to actually pull down. Oh gosh, this is going to be just wonderful to try to do, I think. I really wish this barn right here would connect up pretty simply. I don't know, we'll see we'll see if we can get it hooked up. I doubt it, because that's a pretty far turn. Like, that's going to be rough to try to get it there. Really need to kind of go like that and then come over like so. I think Jack may be able to do it, but we'll have to see for sure on that one. If he derails in the way in there, it'll be alright. We'll see what he really is capable of from maneuverability, if he's really a true climax or not. Seen this, a nice 5% reg, and he's off to the races-ish. He's losing his steam right now, which is kind of not fitting that we're coming to the end of the trip with him. But it makes it a pain trying to actually get him in there. Alright, that's why I'm hoping this works, because I don't want to have to put firewood back in him and fuel that fire some more. But I don't gots to. Alright, we are going to watch this from the outside angle though, because we're going to see if Jack can really articulate like a climax can. And see how well he can actually articulate. That track is really sketchy, so it's really only a temporary spot, but if Jack can make it in there without any issues this time, then we could probably leave it for a little bit. Moment of truth. Nope. Too sharp. Yeah, that's a pretty rough angle to be trying to do axles. Yeah. That is a pretty rough angle, but let's see if we can, what happens when we give it some power. No. Okay, so that means gotta pull him forward then. Oh, I've got him in a bind. Yeah, he's losing steam pressure big time. I should have filled up with firewood when I was up there at the iron mine too. Good planning. Alright, well, that's that. So, we can't even pull Davis out yet. So we didn't clear that switch. But this gives us an idea of how we want to kind of plan it. So we have this barn set here for trains that are kind of set to go that way. But I want to fix how sharp these corners are on a lot of this. Because I don't really want it to be that sharp if we don't need it to be. And obviously we're going to come up here and we want to have space for 80 locomotives and 8 different Heislers and yeah, so, and shays and stuff. So we can put the barns, if I can English, would be really helpful at this point in time. We can put our barns going off this way, and we'll run our groundwork this way to kind of see where the edge of the terrain is at this height. Okay. So we'll run it like that, and we'll, not a facility, we won't, just do all for right now. To erase that. So we don't want that messing with anything that we're doing, because this is old stuff. Old news. Okay. So we want this groundwork to be what we are using for our bridges, or not our bridges, our barns. Come through here. Awesome. Give us a little bit more of a ground space over here to work with. Make it look a little bit cleaner rather than just boink. Okay. So we want barns to where we can just back it on the locomotives in whatever way when we disconnect them, whatever which way they are when we disconnect them. and not have to worry about turning them around, making them look proper or anything like that, because, and we want them both ways, because like this, we store Jack in a barn that faces the way that that one's facing, then we don't ever really have to turn him around. As you've seen, we just came, basically we'll pull straight out, back up, pick up the cars, take off, come back around, we're facing the right way to go right back in the barn again. And Jack, or Davis, when we use Davis, he's facing the right way, because then we just pull out, back up, bam, and we're off around our loop again, we're going off back that way. So they're really set up pretty good for locomotives that are just coming in. Now we want another set of barns just in case for overfill. Either a place to store locomotives, or if we put a switcher up here like the tier 2 porters, whatever we end up doing, that way we have extra space for our locomotives and we don't have to worry about, oh, we're running out of space type of stuff. That being said, we need to make sure that these barns, when we put them in here, aren't going to be any colliding in with any terrain like that one was. So that's good. We'll see if this side's all set up the way we need it to be. Okay, awesome. And we'll figure out how we're going to put these switches in here, because we've got to go that way with it. And I think if we put our switch right about here, do a right switch with that facing that way, we can probably get that going. No, we can't. Not at that angle. What am I talking about here? So we actually might have to move that barn back a little bit. Meanwhile, I gotta keep an eye on Jack. Wow, okay. So Jack is definitely all bound up. Note to self, don't make Jack climb that type of grade. I'll actually just go ahead and move Jack to about right here for just keepsakes. Make sure he's going the right way too. We'll just move him to right there, re-rail him. That way he's set to go the right way. We have enough room to pull Davis out. We'll fix both of these barns real fast. And then we will figure out where we're at from there. I amaze myself sometimes. I definitely did not mean to delete that barn. I was definitely going to pull Davis out the proper way. Hey, hey, hey. Turn on the Jenny. Open that valve up so when we start getting pressure, we can start filling our tanks. And yeah, he's just kind of stopped right there. He kind of gave up. Alright, so I need to delete that switch. Alright, so we want to put our barns in here. Relatively nice. So we could use Alpine, we could use the Barn Red, or we can use Prince's Brown if we wanted to. Or we could use the Alpine Blue or the Aspen Gold. So the Aspen Gold would look something kind of like that. Or we could use, like I said, the Alpine Blue, which is something like that. What do you guys think we should use for our barn color? Should we stick with the red, Alpine Blue, the gold, brown? Yeah, we won't make it very far. We have a few cars brakes on. We have the cabooses and these 2 cars. I'm not worried about it. Which is nice that we have a brakeman back there, and now that we can release those cars, and we just know the caboose has got our brakes until Jack or Davis gets his brakes. But you guys let me know what color of bridge we should use, or bridge, there it is, barn we should use, and then we'll go from there. What am I doing? I'm trying to grab a switch. To the right. Nope, wrong one. We'll run it. About there. That'll give us a good amount of rail. Okay, so we've got our switch laid in there all nicely. Then we will put, we could just put our barns off over there somewhere since we've got so much room. If I run this way. Red. You guys think we should stick with red? As you can hear, Davis's generator is starting to kick up and go places. Okay, it's gonna be one line. Gonna throw a second one. Again, I'm going for the barns, I don't know why. Just throw a second one right here. Line this up. It might be a little bit too close, we're about to see. Yeah, it's gonna be way too close. Bam. And then we will run that line to there. And we'll just have all 4, or both of our sheds hooked up to this side. And then we can have a turntable somewhere if we need to. Okay, so now we'll probably have to put some groundwork down. Yeah, because we're going to start losing our switches. So we'll just make a parking lot real fast. Red so I can find them in deep snow. Yeah. If we ever get deep snow. I mean, and I'm hoping that we get to keep snow at some point or add seasons in or something. So I do like this snow. Hope it's not going to be like GTA where the devs added the snow in for like 2 weeks every year themselves rather than I want to be able to keep the snow. I like the snow. For the most part, those are actually relatively straight. Surprisingly. That one's not, but... Actually, there should be enough space in there to... nah. Okay, so we're going to keep that about as straight as we can. switch to the right here. Down to there. Okay. Now we gotta fix that, it's a little bit too close. Probably needed to be about right there. And again, this is only really 4 locomotives, but we can build off these sets of ladders if we really wanted to and put our yard over here instead of where it's at, since we have more room over here and we're not against a mountain. Okay. Alrighty, and then we will run out of room here. Or groundwork anyway, or groundwork room. See, this is all flat. Gave us a pretty good area to just build a yard, so we should build a yard over here and do a lot of what we can over here. Or most of what we can. Just need to make sure that every time we put something down in here, it's straight as straight can be. Don't get no holes or gaps in the ground or the flooring. Okay, that should give us plenty of room for these sets of switches, and then we'll start putting our there it is, bridges, barns down. Oh wait, we don't need another switch. Unless we want to go and use a yard switch right after. Sure, I think we'll do. We'll just put another yard switch. This one isn't going to be going to a barn. This one's going to be going to somewhere else. And maybe expansion in the future depending on the locomotives that we get. And how many. Yeah, that should be fine for a locomotive. Alright, so we're going to even all of these lines out here with this one, and then we'll put our barns in. So we have the same amount of area. Just like so. Ooh, going way too far out there, my guy. Oh, that is crooked. Because then once we put the barns out there, we'll put them pretty far out there. So these are going to be some really long lines for no reason, but this will give us the maneuverability to maneuver it to the width that we need it to for the barns. Okay, we'll go ahead and put our little groundwork in. Because our barns will go probably farther back than this even. That gives us all that room to maneuver the track to where we need it to be. I accidentally replaced those. I hit a button. Okay, so we'll turn it to kind of run even with that groundwork. We'll just run it along. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Grab right next to that and just fill in that little area right there. Okay, we'll lock that and we'll go all the way back here to where our barns are going to be stored. Just like so, and we will go this way real fast. Right here, and we'll go boom. Just lock it. So that way we have an edge to meet with those. Because our barns are going to have to be spread out, and they will be spread out pretty good portion to where they are now. So if we go oh, and I got stuck in it, of course. Bam and bam. Getting this parking lot paved. Or laid, rather. Okay. Come through about right there. Connect that dude up, and like I said, we're gonna go make this section a little bit wider because the buildings are obviously wider than that. Tie that into there like so, so it doesn't look all goofy. Okay, we'll just grab from back here, pull out like so, and bam, we're coming perfectly. The rest of this. Okay, I'll go and get rid of our trees. Like so. I probably didn't need to get rid of that one tree, but it's okay. It'll be fine. And then all I have to do is just get rid of that tree for this one, because that's going to be covering the switch head itself, and I don't want that. Other than that, we can keep the rest of those. Okay, so our trees are gone except for him, and then we'll go ahead and place our barns in red. So we don't lose them in deep snow, I suppose. Oh, come on, don't be that stingy. Demolish all. Oh, it's going to be that way, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be that way. Right, let's see, how can I do this? It's another section cleaned up. Awesome. Okay. Facilities, go red. And we will place that one there. Place this one there. roofs were across, but we'll be alright for the most part. Yep, we gotta fight the barn doors. Yep, so we're good. Funny thing is, we can open that, and bam. We can see inside the other barn. That's cool. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get all these doors open because we're going to need to when we attach this track. Okay, we're going to have to definitely, that tree's on the inside. I thought it was on the edge, but it's not. This ought to go well. Sooner or later, yeah, there it goes. Should disappear. Lower that window down. Okay, so that's the room that we're working with, and I've got to take this dude and run him into that line right there. Oh, I didn't know we were coming off at a weird... Scratch those placements. I don't know what line I was going off of, but it wasn't the right one. Okay, so if we can line that one up with that, that'll be perfect for this dude. So... now we'll open this. Oh gosh. Come on, door. Thank you. Oh, these doors and me fight all the time. Okay, so I really need to get better at placing these barns down. I'm not having good luck with these barns. I don't know what it is. I just don't have good luck with them. Why do we end up so crooked? Oh, well, because I'm not paying attention to my back of my barn. Okay, so that should be a straight barn right there. Please tell me that's straight. Okay, that's a lot better. Alright, let's not have the same issue with this barn, please. I think it's straight. I don't. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, that one we can work with. I think that placement will work. As long as these doors will open, I think that'll be fine. It's a little insane that I can't place barns to save my life. And see, even then, I still like got it all crooked. Okay. Still, this one's not even straight. But we will do our best to finish this. I mean, that's why we are far, like we are, from the actual switches and stuff, so that way we can adjust it and move it like the way we need to. If we were to put it a lot closer to the switches, we'd be in a lot of trouble, but we'll be fine right where we're at. We'll just line of sight, and by hand we'll line that all up. Just like so, and then we've got our first barn ready to go. We'll have our second one, then our third, and then our fourth, and then we'll have our fifth line, which is going to be in case we want to build a yard off of this side, which we're kind of starting to run out of room unless we put the switches all the way up there. So we're aiming for that, dude. Come out of here pretty straight, so we're not trying to nick any doors or anything on the sides. And then we'll straighten it out. A little bit more yard work than I was planning on doing today. I was really just planning on getting on, hopping, and running some trains, but this always works too. Okay, and then we gotta make our parking lot a little bit bigger here. And my headset is not happy. I forgot to charge it last night. I always forget to charge it. I like having a wireless headset, but I hate having to charge it all the time. Okay. See, that gives us plenty of room to kind of get the track pulled all the way out to this angle, and then pop it back this way and line it up into the shed here. Which I do believe we did all right. And then we're gonna probably have to run one more piece of groundwork on the side of that to help out with the sheer fact of that was a lot wider than I planned it to be. And we still have to run, I think, another one too on top of this one for the yard track if we're gonna use it for whatever reason, or like what we did at the crossover, you can use it for a firewood depot or whatever. Okay, so we take that back there and we're all square there. Awesome. Because Jack is eventually going to run out of firewood. He's almost there as it is. I did forget to open that door. I would forget to do that. Nice thing is we can kind of parallel that track until we get to about right here, and then I need to curve it back into there. I don't think I need the doors open to do this, but I like to. That is too far. Let's see. Come on, dude. Thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah, that'll work fine. And then we'll run our fifth one right on the other side of that barn there, which will be where we fill up with everything that we're gonna need. Because this is the last stop until you get to the coal mine or the iron mine. Well, even then, the last stop would be the crossover for the coal mine anyways. So you don't come down this way. Again, why am I trying to place another barn? Okay, that one we come off diagonally straight because we don't need to worry about making any barns happy. Get a little close there. We'll just run that to there. And there's a prepping line, or and a line that we can blow off our steam in the regulator to get all the nasties out of it. Because if you guys didn't know, back in the day, when before they took off, they'll actually hit the cylinder chocks down there and let some of that steam go to clean out the system and make sure it's absent of any calcium or anything else that could be clogging it up. Okay, so that's going to be straight because that's Jax. Jax will be straight back, so we'll get him backed up in there real fast, and then we'll get Davis on a roll and clean up our mess over there. We actually might not even need that. We'll put that in the neutral zone. Awesome. Hi, Davis. We're going to squeeze on past you real quick, buddy. I didn't leave much room between them, though, did I? Man, that yard looks crazy now. Of all the switches and the S-curves and everything. Oh, I could have really moved those switches out a little bit farther, or the second shed switches here, so I didn't have to do all that craziness. But it's, you really got to put your bridges or your barns down first, and then set up your switches. I think I was just trying to talk to you guys without any mic on. Who knows? I don't know how long I had my mic muted or not, so you guys will have to let me know. I have a bad tendency of muting a mic and then muting it, and then I just forget. Okay, so we'll let the caboose do the rest of the slowing down for that hill, which is nice having that caboose back there with the brakes that it's got. But we will mess with all of this. Okay. There's our little turntable in case we end up coming into the switch where the locomotives are at wrong. We can still turn the locomotive around if we need to. So that's why that little route turntable's there. No other purpose than that, just that, really. Plus, this way we can actually have a turntable on this track, because I kind of made some big adjustments over there at the freight depot. But this corner is a lot smoother as well. Both of these are. I extended them out a little bit farther because right where that, basically where that inner track is right where that line was. So this line was actually like right there, and they were both really sharp. And I extended them both out so that way we can make it a little bit smoother of a connection. Okay, so here we do have to be paying attention to what switch we take. So we want to go straight. And what are these? The tier 2s, so I think it's down that track right there, actually, is where we want to store them. Because the tier 1s should be on that track over there. Yeah, those are the tier 1s. No, the tier 1s are right there. What are those cars then? I don't know, but we're going to pick this track that I have it set to, so. I think it's the right track for them. Okay, we'll go and release that brake on that caboose now. Because we don't need it. I was hoping to make it all the way into the switch with that momentum, but I was wrong. Oh, we get really close to those tier 1s. Hopefully we make it through there without nicking them. Oh, we nicked them a little bit with something. Those cars moved. Which makes me wonder if that caboose will even come in here. Yeah, I think this is the track these guys were originally on to begin with. Well, we made it. Everybody made it around that dude, and we're acting up just a little bit. But we'll go ahead and end the stream here, and I will catch you guys in the next episode, or in the next episode on Monday, where we get into where you see some of the stuff that we've done in this. So I will catch you guys then, and you guys have a very good Christmas, or rest of your Christmas, I guess, vacation, whatever you're on, and have a good New Year's. I will get Jack put up or Davis put up real fast.